Okay. All right. Welcome back to WMAC Now with your host, Chuck Stevenson. We are joined by returning guest, Charlie Jewett of sogo-kaku.com. Really good blog if you follow Japanese MMA. And all of his particulars are in the description. How you doing, Charlie?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good. First time going live in 6 months, so I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So we got a lot to go over today. I was going to just do Deep Jewels 44, but then I realized Osaka impacts this weekend. And then the day before DJ 44 is RIZINLandmark 9. And then at the end of the month is Pancrase 341. So we're going to try to get through everything.
Sounds good.
And some fights we might just have to do quick picks because I know you got to be done in a little over an hour.
Yeah, I can go a little longer if we have to.
Okay. So first up, we got Deep Osaka Impact 2024 first round. Little trip down to Osaka for Deep. And they actually really decided to showcase the women with at least half the poster, which is different. And some prominent placement because I think the main event is Arisa Matsuda, the current Deep Jewels strawweight champ. I'm going to pull up the topology here. So the first ladies bout is where are we at? Is this microweight?
Yeah, they're the small ones.
Yeah, okay. I didn't realize. So this is Kimika Jaka, or is it Jaka Kimika? It says her full name is Kimika Kawaguchi taking on Koyuki. So Kimika is 2-1. Koyuki is 0-2 as a pro. They're about the same height. Actually, a little bit tall for microweights. Don't have an age for Koyuki. Kimika is 34 years old. So,
yeah.
Go ahead and why don't you go ahead and start this one, Charlie?
Yeah, I believe that Koyuki actually trains down in Osaka area, so that's probably why she's on the card. I know that Kimika is from the Tokyo area, but yeah, they're both pretty small. The microweight division is kind of weird because you have some fighters that are actually pretty good in that division, but then you have fighters that are just kind of brought in to be opponents for Chibisai and Momoka, people like those, and that's kind of where these two fall. I think isn't Kimika the one that kind of came in a crazy costume, dressed like a Lion King character from the Lion King musical?
It's possible.
So I think that's their claim to fame so far. Now, Koyuki is winless to date, so she'll be looking for the first win of her career.
Right.
And I think Kimika started out with a loss or something. Man, we have to go check. But she's been winning recently.
She won her debut. Coming off then a loss. She lost to Chibisai, and then she picked up a win over Ruby.
Yeah. So I mean, you got to think that Kimika is the favorite going into this one just because she's gotten some wins now, and Koyuki's still winning, looking for that first win.
Yeah. I think one of these days they're actually going to get some athletes in the microweight division, just not anytime soon.
Well, Deep likes to they kind of have this interesting matchmaking where they have this mixture of athletes and then kind of cute or fighters that can sell tickets. And that's probably kind of where these two fall. Also, just microweight division doesn't have too many fighters, so they need some people, and they're not all going to be superstars.
Yeah, true. If you did an actual top 10, there would be fighters on it with losing records.
Yeah, exactly.
If you could even get a top 10, that would be it. I'm
Yeah,
going to
because
go
like the
with,
top of the division would clearly be like what Aya Murakami and like Satoshi Shinashi
yeah,
Sissoko, people like that, and Sao Yoshima, obviously.
right. Uh, so I'm going to go ahead and pick Kimiko to win this one. What's your pick?
I would agree. Yeah.
Okay.
Toyuki, from what all I've seen of her fights, is kind of like a gutsy fighter that's kind of like a brawler, which doesn't really translate too well to microweight. And so I'll give the edge to Kimiko.
Yeah, there's just no power to be a gutsy brawler.
Exactly.
Then we have another microweight bout. Reina Kobayashi taking on Akari Kamise. Kobayashi is the more experienced fighter, coming in at 4-3. Kamise coming in at 2-1. Both ladies coming in off of wins. Kamise's
Yeah.
might be. I think Kamise is the new shortest fighter in deep at 4'9", 145 centimeters. Whereas
Yeah, she's
Kobayashi
definitely
practically
very
towers
small.
over her at 5 foot even.
Yeah, she's definitely
Yeah.
very small.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, and honestly, I look at Kamise and she even has like some of the like more dwarf features.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely very small.
Yeah.
And this is another one that's hard to tell just because Kamise's second win is against a fighter who's 0-13. So I really can't give too much credit to that.
Right.
And I mean, she looks like she has some skills, just hasn't translated yet. I think she's still pretty young. Let me see how old she is.
Right. And she
Which
technically had
isn't
a win over
super.
over Jibisai, but she missed weight. So
Yeah, that's not nothing. Whereas Reina is
yeah.
kind of like this girl that's been around for a long time, who's actually, whenever I see her, she's always older than I think. I always assume she's like young in her early 20s, but she's actually in her early 30s.
Well, she has the
And
face of like, oh, she could be in her early to mid 20s or she could be pushing 40.
and she started out her career with a win over Chivisai, but then she had some tough losses. But
Yeah.
she's faced better competition. She beat Yasuko Tamada, I mean, who's in her 50s now, but is a skilled fight. Was a skilled fighter. Still has the techniques, just the body's probably given up a little bit. Then,
Yeah.
more importantly, she's beaten Momoko Yamazaki, who's not the most technical fighter, but is a gutsy fighter.
Yeah. That's a good
And
win.
so,
And she
yeah, I
won her
think
last
Rena
fight
has to have the
against,
edge.
yeah.
I feel like
And
Rena has to
also
have the edge going to this.
Kobayashi had a pretty good fight against Satoko Shinashi. Like she lost, but like she survived every
Right.
submission attempt and did overall pretty well. I mean, went to decision.
Exactly.
We are rising in the chat.
Ooh. Plus, I think she
Uh,
trains at yeah, she trains out of Nagoya, so I think her coach is Miku Matsumoto's husband.
okay. What's your pick? You going with Kobayashi?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, me too. And some of these are going to be easy picks.
Especially with these undercards, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Then we move up to what is this? Bantamweight? Nope, flyweight. Aoi Kuriyama, hometown favorite in Osaka out of the Smoker Gym. Going to have the biggest cheering section. Taking on
Oh, yeah.
Mana Akagi. Kuriyama comes in at 6-5-1. Akagi, less experienced, at 2-2.
Yeah.
They're close to the same size, at least. Kuriyama's taller at 168 centimeters. And Kuriyama is actually coming off of 2 straight wins, although neither of them were, I mean, like her last win was against someone 0-1, so that's nothing great. But Mana's coming off a win.
Yeah.
At least her opponent had a winning record.
True. It's just kind of like a battle because it looks like Mana has like a judo / grappling background. Kuriyama's kind of like a brawler striker who is big enough to actually like hurt people with her punches and knock them out, as her win and rising shows. But she's kind of had trouble getting over the hump to get into like the upper echelon of the division. Whenever she faces like the bigger established stars, she kind of seems to come short. But she does have some good wins. I think that it's a little too early in Mana's career for this fight, and Kuriyama is on a little bit of a hot streak. She'll be in her hometown. I would give her the advantage going into this because GG, all those factors. Plus, I mean, let me double check. Yeah, it's not. I mean, Kuriyama's weakness is her grappling, but it's not like Mana's out submitting like really good fighters. She's only had 2 submissions. Once was against Boss Suzuki, and another was against both of which, and one other was against Hitomi Taniyama, both of which who were making their pro debuts. So
Right.
I don't think she'll get the submission in this one.
Okay. So definitely go with the favorite in Kuriyama.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Then we move on to, I believe this is actually the main event for the whole event here. Arisa Matsuda,
Yeah.
the current Deep Jewel strawweight champion, in a non-title bout against Madonna the Rocket of the infamous Team Rocket blast off at the speed of light.
Yeah.
Where is this at? There we go. I always overlook Matsuda's profile because she's wearing her baseball uniform in the topology
Oh
picture.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So Matsuda is undefeated at 4-0, coming off the interim title champion win against Machi Fukuda a few months back.
Mm-hmm.
I have no information on Madonna the Rocket. I think she's had some amateur MMA bouts from what someone on Sherdog was telling me. And I know nothing else about her. Matsuda's 29 years old, 5'3", 160 centimeters. Pretty average for straw
That in of
weight.
itself tells you all you need to know about Madonna.
Yeah. Well,
and the
the
last
fact
name,
that
more importantly,
the Rocket.
the Rocket.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's from the Rocket team.
Outside of AMP, has there been any decent fighters to emerge from this Rocket team?
No.
I just feel like
They're
they're the new Team Date when Deep is looking to pad the records of some of their fighters, get them some experience, especially at strawweight, where there's not that many fighters to begin with. They're going to fly over these girls from Thailand or wherever they are. I think most of them are Thai. They're going to fly them over, and a lot of these people have just a couple kickboxing fights, but no MMA experience. It's going to make the Japanese fighters look good, help build them up, get them experience. So that's what this is.
Yeah, it's I think this is like a, hey, we just crowned you strawweight champ, so here's a gimme. And Matsuda's from Osaka or near there, I think.
She's from the Kansai area, so
Okay, so that
yeah, she trains in Osaka.
prefecture.
So she trains regularly with people like Moedi Suda, and she trains with Kuriyama, and people like that down there. All those
Yeah.
girls down there tend to train together. And as you mentioned, she does come from a baseball background, so she's a very not. I believe it was actually baseball, not softball, and she's very athletic, and she's learning quickly. She's a good striker, which should be interesting because the fighter from Thailand, Madonna, should have some decent striking. So we'll see how her striking compares.
Yeah, I think that'll be the most interesting part is, does it mostly stay on the feet or does it go to the ground? I think the
Matsuda's
pick here,
shown the ability to do well on the top. I don't think she's got a very defensive bottom game where she just tries to like Chuck Liddell style and get to her feet back up as quick as possible. But she's good on top and she has some pretty heavy ground and pound. But you got to think that the game plan against one of the Rockets, besides AMP, is just to get them down and finish it.
sounds like a good plan. Yeah, unless you're going against AMP and then you don't want to, you got to be careful if you take her down because then she would have thrown up the arm bar and broken your arm.
Yeah, AMP is like the whole asterisk to this whole team.
Oh, she's like the Karen Date to Team Date.
I like Nori too. And Durrani. Don't hurt my Durrani.
Yeah,
No.
well, I was thinking from the girl side.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is
No,
it
but
for
this is definitely like a coming out party for Arisa because in her championship fight, I felt like Deep actually was probably kind of hoping that Machi would win because they were hoping she'd go to RIZIN, become a strawweight champion, and Machi's quite popular. But Arisa won that fight, and so now they're putting her on a fight in her hometown. giving her a winnable fight. We're trying to build that star up. Maybe do a Machi rematch down the road.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. I mean, why would you want? I mean, even if you didn't necessarily want her to be champ, you still got to like promote her as the champ now.
Yeah.
And
Plus, the strawweight division is just so bare bones now.
right, though she's technically the interim champ.
Yeah.
So that is Deep Osaka Impact. That goes down this weekend on Deep's YouTube channel. You have to be a member for it. You just join for like a month and then quit. You get like all the events. Then was that next weekend on Saturday, we have RIZIN Landmark 9 in Kobe. It started out as RIZIN 46, and they're like, you know what? The fights on this aren't good enough to be a RIZIN numbered match, so let's make it a landmark bout, which I thought the fights on this are pretty good myself. But
I don't know what's
anyway,
going on. I don't know if the fighters wanted to be in the cage, like just some important fighter wanted to be in a cage, or if there was like a sponsorship issue. But I don't know why they changed it.
Yeah. So only one ladies bout on this card. This might be the fight. No, this is one of the two fights I'm most looking forward to. Reina taking on Yuri Shim. Yuri is the former Road FC Atomweight champ, but she hasn't fought since 2021.
Right.
Reina comes in 13-5. Shim coming in at 6-3. Shim's coming off the win where she won the title via split decision. Reina hasn't fought in about 10 months. Lost via knee bar to Claire Lopez last year at a RIZIN Landmark event. So I don't know why she's, she did not want to fight in a cage again because she does not have good luck in the cage.
I think Reina is actually kind of strangely obsessed with fighting in the cage, because I think one of her big goals before she retired was to go back to Bellator and kind of get revenge for losing that fight. But not going to happen now.
Especially your only fight outside of Japan, you go to Madison Square Garden and then get choked unconscious.
Yeah, but to her credit, she did fight that girl. She did fight Van Zandt again in Rising and put on a much better performance. But I think she is interested in fighting in the cage. And she's coming off of that knee injury in her last fight. And it looks like she spent most of this training camp in Thailand training. So she went over there with Miki Matono.
At Tiger Muay Thai, one of the best gyms for MMA in Thailand.
So it looks like she's kind of, I know that they are obviously an MMA gym, but when you think Thailand, you think striking. So it looks like Rena's kind of embracing her roots, going over there, getting some good training in, chopped her hair off. And looks like she's taking this one pretty serious. And I actually had a chance to speak to Shem ahead of this fight. I'll be releasing an article on that later. But this is good for her too, because she kind of said the reason she stopped fighting is that Road FC wanted her to fight Park again. She was just like,
they wanted the rubber match.
She's like, I don't want to fight her again. She's like, I'm more interested in kind of branching out and fighting on the international stage. But that just wasn't possible at the time. So she kind of put it on the back burner. As you saw, is she on that new TV show on Netflix now?
Yeah. So a day or two before this event, the season 2 of the Netflix show Physical 100 that Akiyama was on last year, Shim is going to be on it, and she's been in like some of the commercials and everything for it. So my guess is she actually gets kind of far in it. I'm not sure when that filmed. I'm guessing probably filmed last year. But
my impression of her is that, she seems like if she wasn't training in MMA during her time off, she was becoming kind of like this aggressive CrossFitter.
Yeah.
It's like it makes sense that she'd make it far, because I think she still is training at a CrossFit gym. And other CrossFit competitors do really well in tournaments like that.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
One of the unique things about Shim is that her main Team Genius, it says Striker Team Genius on all their logos. It's a Muay Thai gym that has like hardwood floors. Now, I think they might have finally gotten some padding on the floors, but I saw them training guard on the hard floor one time. And I'm like, I hope they didn't do takedowns onto the hard floor. So like
There's no
her big
padding on the
thing from
streets. No
yeah.
padding on the streets.
Yeah, well, there's no padding on their floors, no padding on their walls. It was a
Mhm.
striking gym that started doing MMA. And so her ground game is not the best, but if she gets on top, she can land ground and pound pretty decently. And she did work on her takedown defense a lot ahead of the second Park fight, because that's Park beat her in the first fight via ground and pound.
Well, I
So
mean, she's not going up against Miyu Yamamoto, so I don't think that should be too big of an issue going
yeah, I'd be
into
more
this
worried about a
battle.
flying armbar.
Exactly. So, I mean, I kind of like this matchup. They both have similar skill sets. It's going to be a striking battle, and that's what everybody wants to see. So it
Yeah.
should be fun. It's kind of a good return to the ring for both of them, and a good return to the cage. But
Yeah. So who's your pick?
if I had to pick, I would just say Rena's been more active in recent years, and it seems like she might have other things that she's doing. But sometimes when they get fighters, you're like wondering how serious about their MMA careers. She seems serious. She was just waiting for the opportunity to fight outside of Korea, which I think COVID kind of threw a wrench into.
Yeah.
But I think Shin will be coming in looking to restart her career. I mean, she essentially told me that like, this is like a new beginning for her. And if she's motivated, I think she should find a good fight. But she's going to have to fight smart because Ren is a very good striker
Hmm.
and she's transitioned well to MMA striking. And her weaknesses don't really seem to be Shin's strengths, if that makes sense. So it should be an aggressive striking battle. But I will
Yeah.
say, to Shin's credit, Rena recently has been very hittable in her fights.
Yeah.
And
Because
so,
Lopez hurt her pretty good in
yeah,
the first
well,
round.
Rena got hurt and then she came back.
Hmm.
But so I think she's hittable, especially when she gets like flustered and she feels like she's losing and she starts coming forward to take control of the fight. So if Shim's smart, she should be able to hit Rena.
Okay. Yeah. I think if I had to pick, I would go with Rena. But this is one of those, like, I think it would make a cooler story if Shim won. I mean,
Yeah.
you combine the physical 100 thing with beating a popular fighter like Reina, and like there was a lot of talk on Japanese social media. I noticed, at least on Twitter, about Shim. Like they're like, oh, she has K-pop looks. She looks like a K-pop star. Like they actually thought they were bringing in a K-pop star to fight Reina.
Yeah, yeah. Well, definitely marketing what they would probably call it like a battle between the two cute girls or something. Kawaii.
Yeah, I think they actually said this is a battle between strong and cute, or strong and cute, something like that.
Yeah.
All right. So then we move into Deep Jewels for 44, first event for Deep Jewels in the new year, topped off by an atomweight championship bout. And this actually has some really good fights on the card overall.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and definitely, I think the poster might be one of the best ones Deep Jewels has ever put on,
Yep.
because it's
Good
just,
one.
yeah, not as good as the comic book one, but let's see. First pro fight. Oh, actually, this is a pro fight.
Yeah.
For some reason, okay. Oh no, I read that wrong. Okay. First up, we have is this flyweight Hitomi Taniyama coming in at 1-2, taking on Haruka Boss Suzuki coming in at 0-2. Let's see. Taniyama won her pro debut, but then lost her next two, whereas Boss is looking to get her first pro win. Looks like Boss is the taller fighter, 165 centimeters to 157 for Taniyama. Boss is not being very boss-like in her fights, from what I'm seeing.
Well, what I think? Boss broke her arm in her pro debut, didn't she?
I can't remember.
Mana, whenever she fought Mana as a pro debut, her second fight broke her arm. So
Hmm.
Boss is a very gutsy fighter. She trains at Chibisai up in Niigata, but she's kind of this counter striker, I guess, if I had to describe her strike style. but I don't think she has the backbone or the background really of some of these other girls. And Taniyama, while being 1-2, has faced tougher competition and does have a win on her record. And she probably trains with better partners at her gym. And so I would give her the advantage going into this fight. She trains at Palestra inside gym. I'm pretty sure it's just Boss and Chibisai. Chibisai
Yeah,
might be a little too small to be a good training partner for Boss.
yeah. It looks like Taniyama's at Brave, which
Oh,
is a
brave, yeah.
pretty good gym.
The poster says Palestra, so I think you might have moved.
Okay.
The
Okay.
graphic too, though.
Topology. Yeah, can't always trust topology, unfortunately. Let's see. So personally, I'm going with Taniyama to win.
Me too.
Boss needs to maybe not use that nickname for a little while
If
until she
Boss
gets a
can,
win.
if Boss can stick and move and use her striking, kind of like she did near the end of her amateur career, she might have some success. But if it turns into a grappling bout, I think she'll have a big disadvantage.
Yeah. And it's funny because we always joke about, oh, can this person wrestle? And it's true in North America with the women, but then it's still pretty true over in Japan as well.
Yeah.
It's like,
I think
oh, striker.
one of the big things in Japan is it's like, did they do martial arts as a child? Like, do we have like a Seika Izawa or a Saudi Oshima who's been doing judo since they were 3? Or do we have someone that picked up MMA when they were 25?
Right.
And that's kind of like the giant divide that you'll see in skill set.
Yeah. Okay. Then we move down to microweight. So we've got Boss's teammate, Kyoka Chibasai Minagawa, taking on Mahina. I have no information about Mahina. Looks like she has an amateur win like 2.5 months ago via submission. Chibasai last fought 4 months ago. She lost to Satoko Shinashi. Put up a very good fight against Shinashi.
Yeah.
And I think if it was Satoko Shinashi, but like under a different name, Kyoka might have won that bout. But they weren't going to not give the decision to Shinashi.
I mean, it looks like the Mahina girls training out of Okinawa. And I mean, the promotion she fought. Oh, I know. I see. Yeah. Let's see. Was that? Okay, I think that fight that she fought on, I may be wrong, might have been that event that was like a military base event that Deep was somehow involved with. And I think Angelina Lee showed up and made like an appearance as like gave a little talk. Okay, makes sense.
Interesting.
But,
There is
yeah.
like several Americans on it. Yeah, on that card.
I think it was like the armed forces event in Okinawa that Deep was somehow involved with. They were promoting it on their social media when it happened.
MCC, yeah, Marine Corps Combative System.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Angela Lee showed up. But yeah, she won at 45 seconds there, but I mean she's 0-0 as an amateur and her opponent was 0-0, so it's kind of meaningless information.
Yeah,
Chibisai has improved a lot since she made her debut. She doesn't
definitely.
have like a martial arts background like some of the more established fighters, but she's a very tough fighter. She's kind of a brawler. She's learned how to defend herself on the ground better. And she's kind of a popular fighter because her old marketing angle of being the smallest fighter has kind of worked. And there's not that many fighters from Niigata, so she gets a lot of support from her home prefecture. I'm going to give her the edge going into this just based off of experience.
Yeah, I'd have to do the same. I just don't know anything about Mahina. So,
yeah.
I mean, I would say if she's sponsored by Reversal, though, that's a good sponsor.
Well, she might not be sponsored. She might just be wearing a reversal top.
True.
Yeah. Mahina, I haven't heard of her amateur opponent. I've never even heard of her gym. So that's everything about her I don't know about.
Yeah. I mean, Okinawa is not exactly a hotbed of MMA either. I mean, there's some good fighters from there, or there's some notable fighters, I should say, from there, but it's not like a hotbed.
No, I think Crazy B has like a branch down there, but I've never heard of Drop Gym.
No, me either. Let's see. So I'm going to go with Kyoka then.
Watch her come out and be like a wizard and just absolutely smoke her in 20 seconds.
I'm for it. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that.
Mhm.
So next we have, what does this say? Back up to flyweight. So we went from flyweight to micro, back up to flyweight. Yuka Okutomi coming in at 3-0, taking on Momoko Saito coming in at 0-2. Okay, I'm still thinking about Osaka. Let's see. About the same size, of course, about the same age. Saito's 1 year older. But it's looking like this is one of those situations where, someone probably has a martial arts background in Okutomi and then Saito doesn't. But let me see. Who'd she fight? Oh, Saito got like some bad matchups to start with. She fought
She
Nori
does
Date in
have
her debut.
she
She
does
has
have an
what?
amateur win over Machi, which is kind of interesting considering her record.
Right. But then she made her debut against Nori Date. Actually fought to a split in that one. That was only 5 months ago. And then like 2 months later, took on Aoi Koriyama and got TKO'd.
Yeah, the Machi fight
So
was weird. I remember the Machi fight because I think Machi lost that fight because Machi's small. Like she's too short. I think Saito did a good job of using her size advantage.
yeah.
But she's struggled since then, whereas her opponent is undefeated.
Yeah, but
And
against a lot weaker competition too. Like she was actually fighting people she should have been fighting her first few fights. I mean, her debut opponent was 1-1. Then she fought someone, who was 0-1. She fought Boss,
yeah,
and then she defeated Hitomi Taniyama via decision. So she was actually
that's fun.
fighting a people she should be fighting.
That's true. Yeah, they've been building her up nicer, and she trains at a decent gym. Trains at Mayway with like Shizuka Sugiyama, people like that. Maybe they'll like. I assume that Mizuki and Kanako also show up there for training from time to time. So Yuka trains at a decent gym. Let's see, Momoko Saito trains at X Fight. So that means she's with like Otami and Bancho over there. So she's getting good training as well. The win over Machi shows me that she's not just a bum. And if I remember, the Nori fight was kind of a weird fight. So, and getting knocked out by Aoi Koriyama in your second fight's not that big of a thing. Not too concerning. So I think what you're kind of saying has some worth to it, that she's 0-2, but if you look at all the information, it's less alarming than it should be, than it seems. And she should be more competitive in this bout, but I would still give it to Yuka if I was going to pick.
Okay. I honestly don't have a pick for this one because, yeah, it's hard to judge Saito based on her first two opponents.
Yeah.
I mean, she was just outmatched. I will say her management didn't do her any favors,
Yeah. Well, they're probably
which
trying to
probably means,
rush her along.
which means her coach basically was like, yeah, sure, let's put her in there. So I think
Yeah.
from here on out, the fights actually start to get more competitive. But we go back down. Oh no, actually we go up to a bantamweight next. Marina Kumagai coming in at 4-5, taking on Chico Hosoya coming in at 2-2. Kumagai's actually turned her career around because she was like 0-4, won 3 straight, lost a fight against Aoi Koriyama, which I think she had fought her before, maybe not, and then just picked up another win at the end of last
Well,
year. Chico has alternated wins and losses. Most recently, lost to Mana Akagi,
including a loss to Marina Kumagai.
right? And oh yeah, so this is a rematch.
Yes.
One interesting thing about this fight, Kumagai is one of the tallest fighters in deep jewels at 174 centimeters.
Yeah.
And both ladies are in their upper 30s. Kumagai is 36. Hosoya is 5 feet 6 inches. Or I'm sorry, she's 37. Yeah, she's 37.
Marina comes from a kickboxing background, and she was originally, it's part of like this whole, like, she had a bunch of bouts with King Rena at the beginning of her career, where I think she was kind of brought in to lose, but she did better than expected. And now I think she must be managed by Deep or something, because she seems to get some preferential treatment. She gets some good matchups for her.
Yeah.
She even appeared on a RIZIN show. So she's got that going for her.
Well, it was in her hometown too, so.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. But just based off the fact that she's beat Chico before, she seems to be improving. I would give the edge to Marina in this. But if Chico can get her down to the ground, then it's anyone's game.
Yeah, that's always the biggest question in a Kumagai fight. Can she stop the takedown? If yes, Kumagai wins. If no, Kumagai lost.
Yeah, plus, I mean, with the 2-round fight, it's got to favor Kumagai going into this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go with Kumagai, I think, just based on, I mean, she already beat this girl once.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we go all the way to the opposite end, back down to microweight. I'm looking forward to this one. Momoko Yamazaki taking on her declared enemy, Unbi Libby Cho. Yamazaki
Libby
comes
like
in
a former round girl? She's a former round girl, right?
No, that was that Songayan girl. Yamazaki comes in at 4-5. She's coming off a win, preceded by 3 straight losses. Libby is winless in 5 fights. Now she has fought at straw weight, atom weight, and now she's coming all the way down to microweight. And I think the most interesting part about this fight is, can she make microweight? Because she is endowed, shall we
She's
say.
also 5'3". She's pretty
Yeah.
tall for microweight.
She might be the tallest I think Mizuki Furuse's made microweight and she's 5'3", so or she might be 5'3". Yeah, but she's tall for the weight class.
She fought Denise Zamboanga. That's kind of a crazy matchup.
Yeah.
Must have been before Denise was Denise. Okay.
Yeah, it was like 5.5 years ago. So yeah, it was a good while ago. And that was Libby's second fight. And then
Yeah, I mean, this is clearly, I mean, we all know what this is. We want Momo Yamazaki to win. Momo Yamazaki's a popular fighter. She sells a lot of tickets. She isn't the most technical fighter, but she's tough. Give her all the credit in the world. She's incredibly tough. She always goes out there to win. She doesn't quit. She's a brawler. She puts some exciting fights.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would pick her to win this fight 100 times out of 100 times.
Yeah. Now, the guy who does, I guess he does the scouting for Deep in Korea, he actually thinks this is going to be like Libby's time because he feels that she'll actually be stronger at microweight. I don't know if she can even make it. Like, hey, shout out to We Are RIZIN, not with those knockers. saying what we were all thinking. She actually trains at a good gym too. Like Sabi's a good gym in Korea.
Hey.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Yeah,
She could come up and absolutely blow Momoko out of the water.
Yeah, I think if she can get Momoko down, she can win. Like, she doesn't have good takedowns, but I think she's like a brown belt or even a black belt in jiu-jitsu. So I think if she can get Momoko
no
down.
Way. If she's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, record is crazy.
Well, she can't strike.
Oh, is that her weakness? Okay.
Yeah, she can't strike for crap.
Well, maybe the drop in microwave's what she needs.
Yeah. But I'm going to go with Momoko.
Yeah. 0-5 seems pretty hardcore.
Yeah, it's dedication.
Yeah.
Although she's not 0-13.
Nope,
Like there's
that's true.
that one Japanese fighter.
That one girl we saw in shoot though.
Yeah. Or there's a girl, I'm trying to think of her name. She's an American. She was like 0-12 as an amateur. Bellator was about to have her pro debut against someone they were trying to build up. And even the commission was like, no, we're not having that. I think
Well,
that was
there
yeah,
is
and
no
that was
commission in Japan, so
yeah. Well, that was here's a crazy thing. That was the Mohegan Sun Commission said, no, we're not doing that.
so
And
it's like
if
a
a
Native American thing.
yeah, so if like a native commission is saying no, that's bad.
That's really
And now
bad. Yeah,
she still went pro later on at like smaller events, and I think she's like 0-2 now.
makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Momoko, but I'm actually gonna be cheering for Libby. Get that one.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, just put in the work. Let's see if she can finally get a win.
Yeah. Oh, but the funniest thing was Momoko saying on Twitter, "Big boobs are my enemy," and she repeated it like 3 times.
Oh yeah, no, she's funny. She's doing a good job with
Yeah.
matchmaking. But it wouldn't be the first time that a Korean has come over to Deep and ruined their plans. So.
No. Sticking with, or no, this is at, we're moving up to minus 49 kilograms. So what RIZIN calls super atom weight, but only exists for RIZIN. Mizuki Furuse taking on Saki Kitamura. Furuse coming in at 11-11. Saki coming in at 1-2. Both ladies coming in off of losses. Furuse lost to Yeji Lee 6 months ago. Saki lost to Morari Suda 3 months ago. That was a gimme fight for Suda.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just a matchup nightmare for Saki.
Yeah.
But I believe Saki's from Breaking Down, correct?
I'm not sure. I think she might be. I mean, I know Momoko was. Or no, Momoko was from Outsider.
Young, the Outsider, kind of the precursor.
Yeah.
But Saki, I think she's Thai. She's got some or something. I might be wrong. Her typology says Japanese. I think she might be half Japanese, half Thai. But she's from Breaking Down. She's incredibly popular. When she fought in Deep Jewels, there was a bunch of supporters there for her. And I'm of course talking about her fight. Oh, Breaking Down's huge over here. Mikuru Asakura's little fight promotion. But her fight against Edu Takabayashi, I mean, the crowd went absolutely nuts. I thought it was the best fight last year. So, I mean, she's a very good, not a very good, but she's like a brawler, good striker. And that's kind of Mizuki Furuse's nightmare. I think Mizuki Furuse is a fighter that absolutely does not like getting hit. And if Saki gets some hits on her, I think Mizuki might break mentally. Whereas Mizuki is going to be trying to get this fight to the ground as quick as possible.
Yeah, I mean, Saki TKO'd Takebayashi, who also hits hard. And I think she closed her eye. She closed her eye up, if I remember right.
I think she shattered her jaw. So it was like a ref stoppage.
That's right. She broke her jaw. That's right.
Yeah.
Man, my memory sucks today.
It was a crazy fight. It was really good. For those who haven't seen it, I highly recommend it.
Furuse honestly I thought they were giving her a gimme in her last fight against Yeji Lee.
Yeah.
Because Yeji Lee hadn't fought in several years. And if I remember right, she had a losing record at the time. Now you find out she had like a torn, like, I don't know how she could even walk on it. She had like a torn anterior cruciate ligament. Like, she has a video of like with her foot flat on the ground, with her knee bent, and she's like moving her shin back and forth independently of her knee.
This is Lee you're talking about?
Yeah, Lee. Yeah. And she fought like that.
Well, you can't tell me that. Lee was clearly brought over because she's cute and they wanted her to lose. The problem is that all these Korean fighters that Deep's bringing over recently are winning and just making Deep look bad.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Which explains the main event.
Yeah. Well, I think Mizuki is such like a glass cannon. She's aggressive. She has She
Mm-hmm.
can get submissions, but she's also submittable, knockoutable. It's like she has a high attack, but also a very weak defense.
Yeah. I think I'm going to take Saki. I think I took Feruse to win her last fight.
Mhm.
And even though I like the AG Lee, I got to go with Saki because I don't think she can.
Yeah.
Feruse belongs back down at microweight. I think that was her best weight.
It'll just be interesting
Whether
to
or
see
not she
how
can
Saki
still
is.
make it, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, because she's fought
Just
microweight since she had her kid, but she is getting. I mean, she's 23 years old now, so she is probably has grown a little bit.
I don't
Man,
think the
22
weight's an issue.
fight veteran
She's like a
at
stick.
23 years old.
I know Mizuki trains sometimes with Aya Murakami, but Saki, they both have the thing is they both have giant holes in their game, and I think that all fights are on feet. And if Saki can hit Mizuki, I think she'll have very good results with that.
Hmm. All right, so now we move to. Oh nope, staying at minus 49 kilograms. Yuko Kiryu taking on Kate Lotus Oyama. Yuko comes in at excuse me. Yuko comes in at 13-10. Kate comes in at 4-6. She's coming in off of a decision loss to Murari Suda 5 months ago. Yuko stopped a 2-fight skid by picking up a win via decision against Hikaru Ono 5 months ago. And that was at strawweight.
Mhm.
Let's see. 10-year age difference in this one. 36-26. Yuko's the elder fighter. And Kate Lotus is the taller fighter, 164 centimeters to 157 centimeters. I got to go with Yuko to win this one. She's way better of a fighter than Kate. The only thing Kate, I think, is going to have is natural size.
Kate's made big improvements since making her debut, but as I said before, there's that difference in fighters, and Kate doesn't have a martial arts background, so she's been
Right.
playing a lot of catch up. She's shown a lot of improvements, but I think she's also shown not the best fight IQ in some of her in-fight decisions. Like when she chose to grapple with Mika Nagano, I was utterly confused why she was going to the only area of the fight that Mika Nagano could win. And yeah, so I think she's had some questionable decisions. And her fight with Moetti Suda was just her 100% trying to not get submitted. She wasn't doing any offense at all. Where Kiryu has competed on the international stage,
Mhm.
she's beaten some not very good, but she's beaten some higher level competition than Kate Lotus has. I think she recently opened her own gym, so she kind of got some motivations there.
Yeah, it's called Four Rhombus,
I don't know what
which
that
is like a.
means.
I don't know what meaning that would have in Japan. I know like a rhombus is like a shape.
Yeah. Well, like there was this when she came back to the Kitty was kind of like the split decision queen, where she was just edging out all these wins. But those wins were still over better competition than Kate Lotus has beaten. And I know she had that crazy knockout loss to Hime, but I don't think Kate Lotus is going to be able to do that to her. So I'm
No.
just going to. Kiryu is a grinder, and I think she'll grind
Yeah.
out a decision win.
Yeah. Although she had a couple good submissions at one Warrior series. She actually choked that Gion Saw girl out unconscious.
Yeah. That was a while ago, though. I think she's more of a
Yeah, that was
grinder now.
2019. Well, she's
Yeah.
getting old, so older, 36.
Nice count. Drew said she
I'm
did
gonna
very
go.
good against Hikaru Watanabe, which yes, she did. She did very good.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with
But
Yuko
you're
to win
also
this
I
one though. But
think it's a
I will be
smart
impressed.
decision.
Yeah. If Kate wins this though, it will be impressive. That'll be
Kate's
her
kind of
biggest
weird.
step.
I feel like Kate is one of those fighters that like loses the fights she's supposed to win and then wins the fights she's supposed to lose. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But after a while, you got to look at her record, and
Yeah.
Katie's got a way better record.
Yeah. I think her best win so far would be, the Ero Takabayashi win, which was a split decision.
Yeah, and I think her size played a big factor in that.
Yeah. So next up, we move to the co-main event, also staying at 49 kilograms. Jong-un Park taking on Hime Namiko Kawabata. The little wolf or kid wolf coming in at 9-7-1. Hime coming in at 4-3. Park is riding 2 straight wins over Yuna Hong and then Moeri Suda, who she KO'd or TKO'd 8 months ago. Hime is actually coming off of 2 straight losses. Got submitted by Machi Fukuda and then dropped a decision to Shiyu Park, which might play into this one. About the same size. I know Hime's the older fighter because Park is 27.
Yeah, they never released Hime's age, but I think tried to look back and trace her age back to her basketball career. I can't find her exact age, but I think she's roughly in her like mid-30s, mid to late 30s, if I had to guess for Hime. Hime was a former semi-professional basketball player, very athletic, very explosive. I mean, we just talked about the knockout over Kiryu, so she hits very hard.
Mm-hmm.
But she's also kind of playing catch up. Park has fought everybody all over the world. I mean, true definition of a journeywoman. She's probably fought in a ton of promotions. And
she fell into a bad habit of taking fights too close together.
Yeah.
And then like she just lost one and then lost the next and lost. Like she had like a bit of a tumbling period for a while. She also fought fighters that she should not have been fighting too early in her career. Like Emi Fujino is your pro debut.
It's the Korean way. You go to Japan and fight someone who's way above you.
I think this was in Korea.
Oh, really? Was it a Road FC fight?
Yeah, but at the time it was like, the Japanese fighters wouldn't come over unless they were getting easy wins. So,
well, it makes sense. That does.
Yeah.
Park. I mean, Park is clearly the more rounded MMA fighter.
Yeah. Park actually. Go ahead.
It's like Hime has like the great equalizer, and that she could always knock her out. But realistically, I don't know if that's going to happen with Park, who's an experienced striker herself. So I would give Park the advantage just because she's way more of an all-around fighter, and if she can get the fight to the ground, especially, she'll probably look very good.
Yeah, she's not that good with, like, she's supposed to be someone with a sambo background, but her takedowns have never been very good either. Mostly just like simple trips.
She's always been like a very sloppy fighter, though, and if she can get some like scramble to happen to get to the ground, because Hime does have pretty good takedown defense, as we've seen in her career. But I feel like if you clinch with her and make it a dirty fight, kind of like Machi did, and then you can get her to the ground.
Yeah.
But just like shooting from the outside, it's not going to work.
Let's see. Park
I thought Moedi Suda was looking pretty good against Park until she got knocked out.
Oh yeah, she was looking pretty clean, and then got knocked down, and Park just swarmed her.
Hime's hard to say. Hime's more of a counter puncher too, but Park's pretty aggressive, so that might play into her counter striking.
Yeah. One thing I will say about Park, she was one of the few decisions that Sahi Ham won in a period when Ham was actually finishing a lot of people.
Oh yeah. Back when she knocked out Jinyu Frey at Road FC.
Yeah, I mean she TKO'd the then Jules champ at the time. Then she knocked out Jinyu Fry, decisions Park, and then went to RIZIN, won 2 finishes, and then
won the split. That was crazy. Like Ham hit her so hard, she like exploded her own arm. He broke her own arm on that punch.
Yeah, it was, well, like I think when she went the hammer fist is what broke it.
Might have been, No, but Park's tough. So yeah, interesting. I think she's been campaigning for a fight in RIZIN, which is probably why this fight is at 49 kilo. But
Yeah.
gotta beat Park first.
Yeah. Wouldn't mind seeing Park in RIZIN either if she gives a good win.
No. They always like to have an international fighter, and bringing a fight over from Korea. It's very easy for them.
Yeah. So then we move to the main event, Atomweight Championship. Shi-Yun Park, the current Atomweight champ, also the Black Combat Atomweight champ, taking on the challenger, which you haven't heard about Izawa in a while, Seika Izawa, the current RIZIN Super Atomweight champ and current Deep Jewels strawweight champ, which she's never defended. So Park is 6-3. I believe she's riding 5 straight wins. Yep, 5 straight wins.
She had a crazy year last year.
Yeah, and Izawa is undefeated at 12-0. They're the same age, 26 years. Izawa's barely taller at 157 centimeters to 155 centimeters for Park. Park had, like a banner year last year. Won the
5-0 in 1 year. No, she won 4 fights. She won 4 fights last year.
Yeah, 5 fights, all in a span of a year.
It's crazy.
Actually, if she wins this will be like 6 fights in just under a year. Whereas Izawa kind of had kind of an easy year last year.
She also looks nothing like her topology picture, or at least recently.
Oh, Park? No. She grew her hair out and colored it and all that. She got more feminine.
Yeah.
At least in her looks wise. Her mannerisms are still kind of masculine. Izawa,
because she wanted to be on the Black Combat show.
Yeah. Izawa's last 3 fights, she fought a strawweight bout against Amp the Rocket, who's the Deep Jewels microweight champ. Wasn't even a title defense. Beat Claire Lopez, defended her title. That was an awesome win. Fast win, too. And then fought Miyu Yamamoto, which submitted Yamamoto, but Yamamoto was going out there just to retire.
Yeah.
So I would say
Seika also recently joined Japan Top Team. She's been releasing a lot of content with Kai Asakura, so I think she's clearly trying to elevate her status and get more popular with her husband. So they've been making YouTube appearances on Kai's show. They joined a high-profile gym, despite the fact that she has her own gym. She and her husband started a gym as well. So I think she's trying to kind of elevate her status in the public eye.
Yeah.
Because
I do want to get back to that.
This will be a big win for her if she gets it.
Yeah. I would say that competition-wise, Park has been facing better competition, at least in her last 2 fights. And I was saying
absolutely. The Rocket fight was one of the biggest jokes I've ever seen. That's just an insult to the customers. I mean, I wouldn't pay to go see that fight.
No. I mean, and one thing I will say with Park's last 2 fights, Oshima, she fought a submission hunting judoka.
Yep.
And then she fought a wrestler in Suda, Morari Suda. Both of those fights should help prepare her for the Izawa fight. Although watching the Suda fight, I was like, man, she still needs to work on defending takedowns a lot more, because she was just kind of letting Suda pull guard on her or jump guard.
Yeah, Suda's weakness is that Suda still has a girl body. I don't think she's developed the muscle or the physique to power her way into things. She has to be purely technique. And sometimes fighters like Parker is kind of able to gut their way out of these moves or power their way out. So when Suda builds her strength up, she should be a lot more dangerous. But yeah, I mean, she's looked very good against, deep through what should be her kryptonite against her. Park's weakness should be these grapplers with aggressive submission styles, and she beat both of them.
Yeah, I will say the Suda fight, a little bit controversial.
Oh, because she kept grabbing Suda's glove.
Kept grabbing the gloves, and yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you gotta do it. If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Right. Okay. So I'm picking Izawa to win this, but I'll be honest. I'm cheering for Park all the way for
I'm in
several
the same
reasons.
boat. I'm in the same boat as you.
For several reasons. One, Izawa has never defended that strawweight title that she carries around, and to the point that they now made a interim championship, and the interim champ's fighting a week before this in a non-title bout.
Mm-hmm.
Two, and this is the biggest one, Izawa has never shown any inclination that she cared about the Deep Jewels atomweight belt until a Korean won it. But also, I think if Park wins, it keeps that Black Combat and Deep competition going. Whereas if Izawa wins
talking about Black Combat's been kicking the crap out of Deep recently.
Okay,
Both of
I'll call it a rivalry. We'll
Yeah.
say call it a rivalry.
Yeah.
Whereas if Izawa wins it, she's never going to defend it.
No, that's
She's
she might
RIZIN
defend it a couple times.
Why
But
fight for Deep when she's making more money in RIZIN?
I think I think you bring up some good points. I think my thoughts on it would be, for some reason, Izawa doesn't appear to be interested to fight Oshima. And when Oshima was the atomweight champion, Izawa showed absolutely no interest in fighting for it. Now that Park has won the title, I think Deep is kind of embarrassed. They had the Black Combat event where Black Combat won almost every fight, won all of the Deep titles that were up on the line.
Right.
So now Deep awkwardly has all these Korean champions. And I think they kind of dream team style called in the big dogs to be like, we need these titles back in our promotion. So they asked Izawa to go and try to get the title back from Park. And I'm going to be on your side. I think if Park wins this, it is an insane story that you just it's impossible not to get behind her at that point.
Mm-hmm.
She started out with losses on her record, no wins. And then last year, she picks up 4 wins. And then she gets another win this year. And I feel like every fight in Japan, at least, she's been the underdog, and she just keeps proving them wrong. And her fight with Saudi Oshima, she beat up Oshima's legs with these low kicks. And Izawa mentioned that in her fight with Claire Lopez hurt her legs with some low kicks. And I don't think Izawa's historically not done well against pure strikers that can stop her takedowns. I'm looking at fellow Korean Siwoo Park. And if this Park can do a similar game style, I think she has a good chance. Because also, I think Izawa puts a bunch of pressure on herself to get the finish early. And she'll make strategically unwise decisions hunting for that finish, as you saw in the Park fight in Rising, where she drained herself, just like hanging on her, looking for a guillotine choke or a rear naked choke for way too long. And so if Park can play into that, Izawa can be her own worst enemy and drain her own stamina. So
I agree. And one advantage that Park has, there's a lot more tape on Izawa out there than there is of Park.
Yeah.
I mean, all of Park's fights are available on YouTube, but like a lot of her fights are or some of them were like pre-COVID. So she's changed a lot since then. So you can disregard those like early losses almost.
But I will say,
and they were against the other strikers too.
Personally rooting for Park, Izawa is an incredible talent, an unbelievable grappler, and she should be the clear favorite going into this, and she is the clear favorite going into this. But if Park wins, I just think it'd be a fun story.
Yeah. I mean, imagine this. Park wins, and then you have like 2 high-level, also Korean contenders for the title, because you got Siwoo Park, who could come back down to atom weight, compete for it. And if Jung Park beats Hime, then you got another Park who is a possible title contender for it. So you could actually have like 2 Koreans fighting each other for the Deep Jewels title in Deep Jewels.
It's great. I've interviewed Saudi Oshima in the past. She says because of this, she's got a bunch of Korean fans now that are very supportive. When she goes to Koreatown in Japan, she gets a bunch of attention. She gets a bunch of messages from Korean fans. I mean, Black Combat's huge in Korea right now on the MMA scene, as far as their MMA scene goes.
Yeah.
And this benefits both promotions. Both fighters are getting a lot of exposure in different markets. So I think it's a great relationship. And yeah, either way, I mean, Izawa's getting exposed to a whole Korean audience with this.
Right.
And she gets a chance to like defend the honor of her promotion. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, because she is still very close with Deep and Deep Jewels.
Well, they manage her. They're her manager.
Yeah. Yeah, for those in the audience not familiar with Black Combat, if you can't attend their events in person, you can go watch it in the movie theaters. Like they have like a bunch of movie theaters showing their events live. Granted, you'll be there for like 7 hours, but because their events go long. But
yeah, guy was telling me about that. It was like 1 fight per hour, but it's not like it's this whole production. Before the fights, they make all these high quality videos. So you're like watching essentially a countdown video before every fight to kind of understand the story of who's fighting and who to cheer for and all that stuff.
Yeah. So Izawa posted this today, and I think this is like a shot at the Black Combat thing because this is like
that throne chair.
Black's chair, yeah, the throne, and it's normally like all black. Now it's red. Yeah, like We Are RIZIN says, they give fighters dope nicknames. Like they gave Oshima Little Giant, although I think they should call her Giant Slayer.
Oh, I think Little Giant.
Giant.
They gave Little Giant an awesome nickname. They gave her a cooler nickname than she could have hoped for. That was a great nickname. No, the guy's a former like influencer, so he's very good at branding and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they got fighters nicknamed like Viper, Iron Shin, or Iron Shark, or something, like all kinds of cool nicknames. Code Mayday wants to know what it says on a poster. I know up top that's Shiyun Park versus Izawa Seika. I'm not sure what this says.
Something about the throne. I can't quite make it out. Give me. Where did you find that image? Was it on? I'll look it up.
It was on Izawa's either her Instagram or Twitter.
My eyesight is so bad these days. Like an old man.
Yeah.
He said something about the throne.
Yeah. Yeah, the Black Combat promoter's name is Godfather Black.
Oh, yeah, he's great. And
he dresses in all black too. Oh, yeah, like I liked when he went to Japan for the second Deep and Black Combat event. He wore like the Korean hanbok in all black and white, which is like more like a mourning thing, but they walked away like big winners. So you mentioned you think Izawa was trying to raise her status or his popularity. Now, I talked to Andrew from We Are RIZIN, and he thinks that she hasn't really like caught on big with the fans. But he mentioned something about like the overdone crying, which personally I think is kind of fake. Like you might cry, but she's like, it's just like really forced sobbing. I was like, how do people? No way anybody likes this besides.
Oh, so yeah, she's like the ugly cry too. I'm just not a fan of it. Yeah, not a fan. Yeah. No, I mean, I think she's trying. I mean, Andrew can tell you this too. She's kind of, what's the best way to put this? Like when she does interviews for articles and stuff, she doesn't give like the most exciting answers. It's very like, I'm gonna do my best.
Domimas or whatever it is.
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna come mas and stuff like that. And so when you're in a division with other more charismatic fighters, you're gonna have a hard time sticking out, and it's gonna take longer when you're doing the whole just like let my results do the talking for me thing.
Right.
But yeah, I think the move to Kai Asakura's gym is probably the biggest tell that she's looking to get more popular.
Please look forward to my match. That's like the standard thing every Japanese fighter says. Please look forward to my match.
Yes. so boring. Normally, the Tarumi over there is better at telling the fighters to like say something interesting, but nah, it
Mhm.
just yeah.
Yeah. I think like part of Izawa's thing is like she's in a division with like Kana Asakura, who was super popular, especially when she was dating Tenshin.
Mhm.
Same division as Reina, who has been popular for years. And then
Well,
like she beat Ayaka Hamasaki. And I know you've said before, like Hamasaki is one of those fighters. It's like she was very well respected, but wasn't like well
mhm.
loved, or like she didn't have like a big fan base. So like when she beat Hamasaki, it was more like, oh wow, that's shocking. And then
Well,
that was like
I think
it.
people that were in, I think people that were knew who she was, like myself, knew that it'd be a closer match than some people were kind of expecting. It was still a shocking win, but the issue is I think she's clearly a smart girl. I mean, she went to graduate school and got like her
Mhm.
master's degree, but she's also very reserved. She doesn't say a lot, and it's hard to write a bunch of articles or get behind a fighter that you don't know that much about. So maybe she was uncomfortable with the limelight. I don't know what was going on, but yeah.
Here's a pretty good comment. Oshima is relatable due to being a parent. Kana had a great personality. Hamasaki is a vet. Reina is kawaii. Izawa personality wise doesn't stand out as a personality. I can
Osh,
definitely see that.
I mean, he's right. Oshima though, Oshima has the whole like mother fighter going. She's
Yeah.
like the young housewife with two kids, but she also speaks and says she thinks about her answers. She gives intelligent answers. Kana Asakura had a very good personality. People thought she was like girls liked her. She had a good girl fan base and guy fan base. She built that into a good YouTube channel. She did a good job
Mhm.
promoting herself. Hamasaki did the thing where like she went and won in America, became the first Japanese fighter to win a North American title, and so that was huge respect wise. Rena grinded away in shoot boxing for more than a decade, building up a fan base,
Mhm.
and so I mean, there's that. Whereas
Right.
Izawa is still relatively new to the sport. She made her debut during COVID. Outside of Deep, she just had a couple of appearances in Rising, post Fuji TV contract era. So she's not getting that Fuji exposure. Only people that are already existing Rising fans that pay for the pay-per-views are seeing her
Right.
fights, which is also huge. And she does do a bunch of stuff more recently on her social media. She has her own YouTube channel. She posts stuff on her social media. So I think she's trying to get more popular. It's just not taking, I think, as like they would. This fight might help a lot, actually, the whole Japan versus Korea, getting the title back, the Black Combat. This might help increase her popularity.
I, I think so too. Even though it's on a smaller show, the fact that it's like, oh yeah, I've got to get, get Deep's honor back from Korea. I
Yeah.
mean, that just that whole international rivalry itself is always going to be big.
Yeah. Plus, if she wins, she'll get herself in good with the deep people. Maybe they'll,
Right.
yeah.
Um, Real quick, I want to touch on this one. Emi Tomomatsu returns
Yeah.
next month after she hasn't fought since 2022.
Hmm.
She's taking on Mayumi Ono, who appears to be making her pro debut. Here's what's crazy. On Tapology, there's 11 picks for this fight. 91% of them are picking Ono.
Well, I mean, it seems pretty clear that Tayamatsu is not really what she used to be. I don't know how motivated she is going forward,
Yeah.
but she's also
I'm
pretty
hoping
old.
that this is like I'm hoping that this is pick up a win and then retire.
I mean, she won't retire. I don't think she'll have like official retirement or anything. I think she enjoys competing,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know how motivated she is going to. I know that Sayaka got mad at her a couple fights ago. Can't remember which fight it was. I might be wrong, but I believe that happened.
So I just wanted to bring that one up. That's next month. Deep Nagoya Impact on April 7th. Big one at the end of this month, though.
Ooh,
Pancrase 341 has 4 ladies bouts, 2 of them title bouts. But first, we have a flyweight bout. Nori,
yeah.
formerly of Team Date,
Mhm.
one of Charlie's favorites, taking on
Oh, yeah.
Fumika Watanabe. Honestly, this is a fight I feel like either one of them could win. Nori
Absolutely.
is 6-6-1. Watanabe's 0-1. But her debut fight was a split decision against a far more experienced fighter.
Yeah, she looked really
Who's
good
also
in
like,
it. I thought
yeah,
she faced Rika Emiko, who's a former world boxing champion, former boxing champion. And Fumika did great. She looked good on her feet, put on an exciting fight. I see a good, promising future for her.
yeah. And Nori's just Nori. She's fun to watch anyway.
Oh yeah, well Nori's got that crazy Team Prajra striking style, kind of like a
Yeah.
taekwondo kicks, throws hook kicks, she throws switch kicks, she throws crazy punches. She's super tough and gutsy. I mean, I think in that Kuriyama fight, she got knocked down like 3 times in the first round, and she somehow fought her way back to a split decision. I mean, into a draw. So I mean, incredibly tough fighter. She's in pro wrestling now. It's kind of surprising this fight got announced. So yeah, she's got that pro wrestling angle now. She's been on TV before, so she's kind of got that star quality.
Yeah. I was
Norris
surprised she
great.
came back from pro wrestling.
Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be good. I mean, it's, pro wrestling and MMA have a lot more crossover in Japan than outside, but
True.
yeah, good news for her. I'm excited to see her back in the
Yeah.
promotion. She's got a good fan base, so it should be a fun fight.
Yeah. I have to
Good
agree
test
with
for her.
Andrew. Pancrase's favorite promotion I can't watch. Their last event still has not been uploaded, and it was supposed to be on their YouTube channel for members, and it never
Wasn't there?
like it didn't work. It like failed, I guess.
Use a
And,
VPN, right? You use a VPN, right?
oh, I forgot to turn it on.
Yeah, for the Pancrase YouTube, you have to use a VPN.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, you come to YouTube and still region block outside of Japan. Come on, Pancrase.
I think
Get with
Andrew
it.
just refuses to use a VPN, which is a recurring joke.
Another flyweight bout, and I feel this one will decide the next title challenger, mainly because I think Shizuka Sugiyama will beat Rika.
Yeah.
2 of the most
Sugiyama's-
experienced ladies in Japan. Sugiyama comes in 21-7-1. Rika is 13 wins, 10 losses, 1 draw. Both ladies coming in off of losses, though. Rika just lost to Hanuka Shigeta 3 months ago. Sugiyama, though, hasn't fought since 2022. She lost to via submission to Rin Nakai in the finals of the Deep Jewels flyweight tournament. But this should be Sugiyama easy.
Oh, absolutely.
Rika has not looked good in a while, and she was never a great MMA fighter. Mostly just beats on inexperienced fighters.
Well, she's been, I think, a staple of Pancrase for a while. She's kind of been like the gatekeeper of the promotion, so to speak.
Yeah.
But this will be Sugiyama's Pancrase debut. Incredibly popular fighter. She does the female commentary now for RIZIN's women's fights.
Mm-hmm.
Her husband's actually fighting at RIZIN on the same show as Rena. So yeah, but she's got a big gym, United Tokyo, so everything is looking good for Sugiyama. And this is a great pickup by Pancrase. I know they recently brought over, who's also fighting on the card. They recently brought over Satomi Takano, who also made her Pancrase debut. So it looks like Pancrase is making some moves to bring some veterans over to help build up the women's divisions.
Yeah,
and it's great. Shizuka Sugiyama going against Rika. Sugiyama wins this. It sets up a very exciting fight. You mentioned Hanuka Shigeta, who's one of the top rising prospects in flyweight division in Japan right now. Trains out of the High which has just been rebranded. I believe it's Black Belt.
Yeah.
Something Team Black Belt.
We'll actually talk about her in a second. But Sugiyama's the pick to win this one.
Oh yeah, and
this is one of the older fights. That's
brilliant move by Pancrase. She was so underutilized. I never understood why RIZIN didn't bring her back or why keep, didn't use her more. But yeah,
No.
great signing by Pancrase.
This is one of the oldest fights we'll see too. 37 for Sugiyama versus 49 for Rika.
Yeah, but I think
Rika's,
Sugiyama is actually better physically, physically muscular training wise now than she is when she was younger. She's
yeah.
taking her training way more physically, way more seriously.
What was I gonna say? Rika's, I like to term her one of like the old biddies of JMMA that will not go away.
Well, I don't think she has anything else to do.
No,
She loves
I think with
fighting.
her,
This is what she
I
does
think
for
with
fun.
her, no, like it's all she knows. But it's like she's up there with like Takeo Hashi and some of the other ladies, Fujino, who have just been fighting forever. And now it's like, please go away. Stop beating up on the newbies so that they can actually get a good record going.
And Codemate asked about the English commentary on Pancrase. I think it's a copyright thing. I may be incorrect, but I think it has something to do with exclusive copyright deals. To get the English commentary, I believe you have to use what's the Tyget website and order it through them. But I always post the links, and they post the links on the website as well before the event. So if you're looking for the English commentary, just keep an eye out, and Pancrase will post it, and I'll also post it. They should make it more accessible, though, because, I mean, Stu and Guy do such a great job.
Yeah. Oh, Stu, yeah. Both, yeah, they've been doing Pancrase for years, too, because they were doing it when it was on Fight Pass, which I miss having them on Fight Pass. Then we have the Atomweight Tournament Championship and the inaugural Pancrase or Atomweight Queen of Pancrase title. Sarami, whose full name is Satomi Takano, taking on Sayako Fujita. Sarami, way more experienced, 18 and 14. Fujita coming in at 8 and 2. Sayako pulled a little bit of an upset in the first round of the tournament. Beat Mei Yamaguchi via split decision. And I'm still, I haven't watched the fight yet. I'll have to turn on my VPN to watch it. If I had one, that is. Wink, wink. I'm still not sure if that's Sayako improved that much or has Mei Yamaguchi just fallen off that badly.
No, I think it was, I personally kind of thought Mei won the fight, to be honest. I know Mei also thought she won the fight. But it was a close fight, and I think Sayako's an aggressive fighter, came forward with strikes, and yeah, it was a very close fight. But I think she's improved. She trains at Ground Slam out in Yokohama, and I think she works with like Miki Matono and them. Interesting, I think Sayako and Satomi also trains in the Yokohama area.
Yeah,
they're friends. I think they regularly train together.
The last event was in Yokohama, and both of the Yokohama ladies won. And Takano beat Zeni Juan.
Yeah.
I think that was a unanimous decision. So
it was. She fought I wouldn't call it the most exciting fight, but she played a very strategically sound fight and used her wrestling and grappling to kind of secure the victory there, to make sure she advances to the finals. Whereas Sayako and Mei was kind of a crazy fight. If you guys find it on the VPN, if you can use the YouTube channel membership, I would highly recommend it.
Okay. Putting on my tinfoil hat here. Sayako is like the Pancrase fighter, whereas Sarami was brought in lately, and they both train out of the same gym. So putting on a tinfoil hat.
They don't train out of the same gym. They don't train out of the same gym.
Oh, no? Okay.
Sarami trains at Lotus Gym with Kitaoka, and Sayako trains at Ground Slam. But they train together because there's not a lot of women around, so they do spar together at times and train, but they are separate gyms.
Okay, so taking the tinfoil hat halfway off now. What are the chances of something funny going on with this fight to give Sayako the win? Because I think Pancrase wants Sayako. Granted, not everything goes according to plan.
Well, I think Pancrase was interested in the division. I think was made when Sayako before she fought Zinni Huang. Then they were kind of hoping that Sayako would win those fights and become the champion, but that didn't go to plan. Satomi Akano has so much experience,
Yeah,
and is kind of Sayako's weakness is grappling, and it seems to be
definitely.
that all Satomi Akano really wants to do in the fights,
Yeah.
which
Well, Sayako
she
does
trains.
good
Yeah.
as long as she's the aggressive grappler.
Well, no, Satomi also comes from a judo background and jiu-jitsu and all that stuff. So I
Mm,
mean, she's going to try to get it to the ground, keep it on the ground, and neutralize. Because Sayako's former bodybuilder, she'll be the more muscular one, probably have more power. But yeah, I think Satomi will try to shut her down and turn it into kind of like a grinding decision. Is probably how
yeah.
I would see it going.
She's not the most exciting fighter.
She's one of those fighters where if you want her to be exciting, the onus is on her opponent to make it exciting.
Right.
Where like her ideal game plan is to kind of shut her opponent down.
Yeah, she's a grinder.
Yeah.
Definitely a grinder. Whereas Sayako's definitely the more dynamic fighter.
She's definitely a more explosive fighter, and she's kind of
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, she came in when she was fighting before the main fight. She was jumping up and around, like pumping the crowd up. I mean, she had a
Mhm.
fake tan. It reminded me of like '80s pro wrestling. So,
Oh yeah,
Sayaka's,
she looks like she lives in a tanning booth.
oh yeah,
But I mean,
yeah,
she's a
she
bodybuilder,
definitely
so
rocks the fish. She definitely rocks the fake tan. And when
yeah,
she came in there, she was pumping the crowd up. So Sayaka's definitely she's built a good fan base, and
yeah,
I think win or lose, she goes out there to put on an exciting fight. So I think Sayako will try to make this one exciting, whereas Sadami might do the more tactical or strategically sound strategy.
yeah. Code Mayday is not a fan of Sarami.
Well, I mean, the Zinni Huang fight wasn't the most exciting, but hey,
Yeah,
at the end of the day, these fighters are trying to win.
yeah. So then we have the flyweight championship, and this is a big experience
Yeah.
mismatch, but I feel like this one is actually kind of a toss-up fight. Takeo Hashi, the current flyweight queen of Pancrase, coming in 19-8-1. She's riding a 3-fight winning streak, going back almost 3 years or almost 4 years. So she hasn't been fighting too much lately. Versus Hanukkah
Yeah.
Shigeta, who is undefeated at 3-0, all within the last year.
But I'm on the Honoka Shigeta bandwagon. She's just like German suplexing girls, flipping them around, just absolutely dominating her opponents.
Yeah.
She's such a fresh of breath air to the division. She trains with Kana Sakura. She trains with Karen. She trains with a good team with like Ray Saya and those guys over there. The team, I think, yeah, it's recently branded as black belt, but she's got a great coach. Ray Saya's dad is the coach over there. Ray Saya is going to the UFC now, and so I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a solid team, solid women's team within the team. And Honoka has just looked amazing. She's got like that bulldog. Once she gets a grip on you, she's going to throw you around. Whereas Hashi, if you mentioned it, she's fighting like once a year, if that. She's the champion, but I think Pancrase was hoping that Nori would beat her to become the champion, but Nori just
Yeah,
wasn't able to
probably.
overcome the skill gap. And Hashi is a veteran. She's very experienced. She fought in Victor FC. She fought all over the world.
Yeah.
No way this freaks her out at all. She's very relaxed. I think she actually, side note, I think she owns a tonkatsu restaurant. It's like her side gig. So she's a cook. You know, I always like the little trivia facts. But
Yeah.
no, so this is a great fight. But I kind of agree that for the sake of the division, a Honoka win would be huge.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Code Mayday says. Hanukkah needs to win this for the divisions to move forward, which I
Oh yeah,
agree. Takeo's Hashi's one of those fighters that's been around forever. Now, I'm not sure how accurate this is. Topology says that Hashi trains out of Wajutsu Keishukai, and Shigeta is from out of Para Estra Kashiwa. That's like
yeah.
those are
Padestra
two pretty
rebranded
big gyms.
recently. Padestra left. Padestra Kasha left the Padestra network,
Oh, okay. That
and
kind
I
of
think
takes
it's
that
now called.
rivalry away.
I think it's now called black belt.
Mm.
But look it up while this going. But how's she? I mean, she might technically be part of that gym, but she's old. I don't know how much she's actually training. I imagine she's just training with her friends and sparring partners and things like that. Probably training with the likes of like Emi Fujino and people like that.
That's what I was gonna guess. Is she like one of those that trains with like Emi and Ayaka
Yeah.
Hamasaki and like the
Okay, so
the
Paris
old
Akashua left. They left Pirates of Network, and the team is now called the Black Belt Japan.
oh, real original. Code Mayday asks, is Hanukkah undersized for 125?
She's short, but she's built like a brick shit house. I mean, she's very muscular, very strong, very powerful. And I think she should be fine at this point in her career. Maybe in the future she'll want to cut down to 115. But at this point, I don't think there's anything to worry about. Plus,
Well,
I
if
mean,
she's
it's
tossing
just
around,
fun.
if she's tossing around 125 pounders, she'll toss salt like nothing.
Oh, they have some. They have some great pictures of her, some great videos of her just German suplexing ladies. So she's definitely got the power.
I'll have to look for those. So that's actually it, Charlie. Don't have. Yeah, that's. Oh no.
So I mean, if I
Okay.
had to closing comments, I guess would just be that on the Deep show, clearly the main event is the most important. I mean, Sekizawa fighting is a big deal. Park fighting is a huge
Definitely.
deal. So looking forward to that fight. But I'm also, I think, the Pancrase has stepped up their game. I mean, they may not have the number of women's fights that these deep shows have, but the quality fights, they have good fighters. I mean, Sugiyama, Honoka. So I'm excited. And Fumiko Watanabe really impressed me in her pro debut, even though she lost. So I expect big things from the Pancrase show and a lot of good women's MMA action coming up soon.
Yeah, I feel I'm actually going to do a stream later on tonight, and one of the topics is the overall market, we'll say, for WMMA like shrinking. And I think like Japan is like one of the places where it's actually safe.
Well, it's kind of existed. It expands and contracts
Mm-hmm.
with the popularity of the sport.
Like
But
it fluctuates, but it fluctuates within like around a medium. It's not like
yeah,
you got the medium and it like the hills are like shallow, like the waves are shallow.
yeah. But I was just going to mention, like, it's hard to explain it to people that aren't familiar with it because, especially with like Japan, there's also like this whole part of the women's MMA where there's like fighters aren't good fighters. They're just there because they're cute and they have like, kind of like an idol that they call them in
Mm-hmm.
Japan, kind of like a figure that people like to follow. But then there are also very talented fighters. And so you kind of get a little bit of everything. So sometimes it's hard to explain how someone who's 0-13 is still fighting. But
Right.
yeah, no, but personally, I'm pretty excited for the Pancrase show. To be honest, I think Sigya's debut is interesting. It's
Mm-hmm.
good to see her being more active. And Honoka was one of my standout fighters of last year.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Which fights,
yeah, like
which fights stick out to you?
um honestly, nothing on the Osaka show really stands out.
Yeah.
The DJ 44, definitely the main event.
Mhm.
Park versus Hime. Kyoka. Let me see. Let me pull it back up.
For the Chiba fight?
The Chibasai fight. Just because, yeah, just because she's so tiny. Who else? Oh, and Momoko versus Libby. Just
Well, that fight, you did more. I'm now interested in that fight just because you gave more backstory on Libby.
yeah.
But,
I mean, just the whole Momoko going, big boobs are my enemy, big boobs are my enemy, big boobs are my enemy.
I'm
She did a
interested.
lot to market that. Because I mean, Gon Kakatogi actually wrote up about that fight. Or I think it was
popular,
Gon.
but
Yeah.
they probably wrote about it. But I'm kind of
Although,
surprised that Moedo Suda is on one of these cards, considering she's from Osaka. I wonder if she got
yeah, I don't know if
injured
it's
in the
because she
combat fight.
just fought. Yeah. Well, and like Saori Oshima just posted like a few hours ago that if she hadn't taken that last minute fight for RIZIN, she'd be 6 months without a fight because she had nothing scheduled.
Yeah, no.
Maybe they're mad at her because she lost to Park. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think she's
I
one of the
think,
best things to happen to the
me
ladies in
too.
JMMA in a long time because she appeals to that market. Like she's under 30.
Mhm.
She's a mom, but she also is kind of showing that, hey, you can be a mom and still have like find success and a career.
I mean, I'm not a matchmaker, but there seems to be some fighters that are strangely inactive. I mean, why is Mikima Tomo not fighting more? Why is Saudi
Mhm.
Oshima not getting the fights that she's supposed to? She should be getting. Saudi Oshima should be the star of Deep with Seiki Izawa. There should be the two girls they're promoting all the time, but this doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like Oshima regularly takes last-minute offers to fight for RIZIN, and the offers just coming her way for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, Moedo
Well, I think
Suda, I'm kind of hoping I'm a big Moedo Suda fan too. I was hoping to
yeah,
see
me
her on some
too.
of these cards.
I thought she had a really good chance against Shiyun Park.
But she's still young, only 19. I mean, they gave her the nickname Black Diamond. So I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Godfather
Godfather
Black's
Black keeps coming up with good
just
nicknames.
blessing people with nicknames. So
Yeah. Yeah,
dude,
because
when they did the press, when they did the promo stuff, and the Deep fighters all came out in suits, but all of the Black Combat fighters came out like Matrix leather outfits. I was just like, okay, Godfather knows what he's doing.
yeah. Well, it's like because one of the videos before that event, he was like, they do those like boardroom things. He like rents out a suite
Yeah.
in a hotel and it like has like a meeting room and he's like sitting there in his suit discussing with some of the fighters in the thing. He's like, and then we brought over this girl from Japan. Her name's Suda. He's like, I'm gonna name her Black Diamond. Just like he's like,
Before
I've
the
decided
Japan
to
show,
call her Black Diamond.
before the Japan show, didn't they like went to some island and was like preparing for the invasion of Japan? So I mean,
Oh yeah, we
he's
talked about
a
that
great
last time.
promoter, great marketer. I think he's doing great stuff. I was
Yeah.
talking to when I interviewed Yuri Shim, a guy that's really involved in the local scene, was doing the translating. He said Black Combat's making waves over there because Road FC is not what it used to be since they've lost a lot of their big sponsors.
Yeah, they did just book a ladies fight. It's like 120 catch weight, and it's a rematch that shouldn't be made. But yeah.
As long as they're going that direction.
What else? There's something I want to say, and now I forget. But I think you got to get going. So
Thanks for having me on.
yeah,
Sorry
thank
I'm
you,
a little
Charlie.
late. I
Oh,
woke
that's
up
all
at
right.
6:30, but then as to happen, I decided sleeping again was a good idea.
Yeah, if you haven't guessed yet, Charlie's lives in Japan, so this is like it's like 10 to 9 in the morning for him. We actually had a good showing, not so much on YouTube, but simulcasting to X for the first time, and we've had like around 20 consistent viewers overall between the two. So
Nice.
definitely going to be going streaming to X more often now.
I'm still not used to calling it that.
Yeah, I call it Zitter or Twix. I like Twix.
Yeah. Be a super old man called Twitter.
Yeah. All right. So thank you, Charlie. You can check Charlie out. Check out his blog. It's Sogo, SOGO-Kaku.com. On Instagram, I think it's just Sogo Kaku.
I'm
And
not
on
super
X,
active on Instagram and stuff, but yeah.
yeah. And on Twitter, it's CJ_Sogo Kaku at CJ_Sogo Kaku.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for being on, Charlie. If you want to hang on for a minute, I'll say bye. Thank you to all who watched, and thank you for all the Twitter viewers that are new or might be new to the channel. Until next time, thank you. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel, head over to YouTube and subscribe to WMMAC Now, the best, most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Be going live again in a few hours, so see you there.